What's going on? It's Otto. Today we're going to be talking about a mage build for early and mid game in Bless Unleashed. A lot of y'all were flooding the comments in my beginner's tips video. Look, I'll even show you. Alright, hopefully y'all enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed making it. My goal here is to provide some information, but have a little fun in the process. So we're talking mage early mid game, what skills are we using, what rotations, and what blessing. Well, like most builds in Bless Unleashed, we are going to be a cold oriented build, but there are some things that some people just don't explain, and I was hoping that I could do a better job with that. So starting off with the blessings, we are using Mark of the Wolf, and there's only pretty much two reasons for that: Absolute Zero and Amplify Frost. Absolute Zero is going to provide that cast of Blizzard within the area of effect of Frost Nova. So every time you cast Frost Nova, you have that chance to cast Blizzard within the area of effect. That's going to play a big role when you pair that with Amplify Frost. All right, Amplify Frost, the main thing we're looking for here is every time you crit. Oh, where'd it go? Here we go. Every time you crit, it decreases the cooldown of Frost skills by 1 second. When you have multiple ice shards from Blizzard hitting a target several times in a row, well, kind of see where I'm going with this? All right, so moving on to skills. Again, we're leveling up. We haven't unlocked Blizzard. What skills are we going to use and why? All right, I went with Frost Spike, Arcane Flash, Frost Nova, and eventually Arcane Blink. All right, you can use Flame Wave. It's not too bad. It will help you get your mana crystals back pretty fast. So, there's always that option, but that's not what I went with. We'll work on a fire build later on, but right now we're focusing on early mid-game, cold build, and why I used it. All right, so we've talked about skills and blessings and what we're using and why. Now let's talk about the rotation of skills. Initially, when I hopped on the Bless, I just kind of killed stuff. I didn't really pay attention to why or how I should be rotating my skills. So, initially I'd be overcharging. I got my overcharge, I'm done with that. I'd roll up into a group. I'd gather them up. I'd hit Amplify, and then I would cast Frost Nova, hit Arcane Flash twice, and then I would just spam Frost Spike. Boom, right? Not a horrible rotation. You're putting out some pretty good burst damage, a little bit of sustainable damage, whatever. It worked well for me. It did work well. But if I fucked up on my initial burst damage, I screwed up the whole rotation, right? And I started wondering, well, how can I make this better? How can I make up for the margin of error, right? And then I realized I have mana crystals above my health bar, and I just wasn't paying attention to what they were and what they do and how they work. So let's take a peek back into our skills so we can figure out how mana crystals work and how we can use them to our advantage. See, I was a silly goose and I didn't actually read what my skill does. You should probably do that. It will help you, I promise. But to sum this up, y'all, every mana crystal consumed when you use Amplify increases the amount of time Amplify lasts by half a second, and it also increases the mage's attack power by 2%. So, when y'all roll on over here, and I go, hey, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana crystals. That's a total of 5 extra seconds duration and an extra 20% attack power. Okay? Versus the normal 6 seconds and 2% attack power. All right, so not only are you going to be putting out more damage, but you can put out more damage longer. So we've talked about mana crystals and kind of what they do, but how do you get them? How does that work? It's actually super simple. Every time you use a skill, or certain skills I should say, because not every skill earns them back from what I've seen. Arcane Blink doesn't, but then I also saw a console video where his Arcane Blink earn crystals back. So I'm not exactly sure what's up with that. I don't know if it's just been a change, if it's a PC thing or a bug, or if you got a level arcane blink up to a certain level. But nonetheless, you use your skills, you get mana crystals. That's kind of the concept there. So Frost Spike being one of the lovely purposes it has, you get to use it 3 times. So each time I use it, I get a mana crystal. That's 3 mana crystals, okay? It also has a pretty short cooldown. So that's another reason why I liked using it. All right, so now we have full mana crystals. Let's go ahead and recharge our mana real quick because we do need that extra mana. Now, rotation does change up a little bit at this point, because initially, like I said, I was just killing shit. I wasn't putting a lot of thought into what I was doing and why. But at this point, I started thinking and questioning, how can I do more damage? How can it last longer? So now I figured out I can increase the duration of Amplify, but how do I get a better rotation off? And it was actually super simple. Use less skills. All right, so we're going to go in. We're going to hit Amplify. We're hitting Frost Nova. Arcane Flash are 2 times in a row. Look at all those crits going off. At this point, you can use a Frost Spike again, or you can cast Frost Nova one more time. And that's what I would do, is I would just wait that half a second, cast Frost Nova a second time, and you're just critting. And yeah, that's kind of the general concept of how this build works. Now, understand this is a build revolving around pre-Blizzard, and once you unlock Blizzard, it doesn't really change up a whole lot. I personally replaced Frost Spike initially for Blizzard and kept Arcane Flash for that instant burst damage. And not only that, but Arcane Flash kind of knocks you back, which kind of sets you up in a good spot to cast Blizzard. But ideally, as far as a rotation goes for Blizzard, I would recommend immediately casting Blizzard after you Amplify, going into a Frost Nova, and then potentially, you know, your third skill being like a Arcane Flash, and then rotating once more back into Frost Nova. That's kind of the general rotation I've been running lately, and it's been working really, really well. As far as like best in slot gear goes, I don't have any recommendations. You could argue that info is already out there, but things could have changed, and I want to figure out for myself playing the game what is actually the best stuff to use. So with that being said, I would say strive for crit damage over crit chance, because the build revolves around Amplify. Amplify is going to give you that cooldown reduction, and it's going to give you that crit chance 100% of the time. But you want to do more damage in that small amount of time. Now, you could argue that crit chance is probably better, because you could be critting outside of Amplify and helping your cold reduction on your skills. And that's true, but I'm aiming for a shit ton of damage in your face in a short amount of time. And that's why I go for crit damage over crit chance. Other than that, maybe a little defense from 1 or 2 armor pieces, and that's it. You're set. You're golden. You ideally don't want to be getting hit. You want to kill it before it touches you. They look at you and you decimate them. You know, the thought behind it, right? Because we're mages. We're glass cannons, right? We want to show them who's boss. But anyways, have a great day, whether it be evening, night, or morning. Have a good one, and I'll catch y'all next time.